Good afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Thomas Polucki.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our first guest this afternoon is Oksana Kolesnikova. She's a pianist and a composer from Russia. Welcome. It's good to see you.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes. So, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, I would like to share with our community. We're right now in a very exciting season of school starting and a lot of kids, grandchildren going to school. And my company, Oksana Management Group, provides youth enrichment. We work with the city of Santa Clarita. And we provide so many different programs, and not just for youth. We have different age groups as well that take private classes from our company. But we also work with a lot of schools, school districts, parent-teacher associations. And yes, I would love to talk about the upcoming season.
Yeah, so Oksana, I think I may have missed something. So you provide a musical program for these students, yes?
Yes. Well, actually, my company has been around since 2010, and my background, I'm a musician, pianist, and composer. So initially, I built my company as a music company, but over the years, it's been now, 14 years, I have expanded our company to provide, in addition to music, we have art programs, we have foreign languages, we have science, coding, and
Wow.
yes, we have amazing team of instructors. Each one specializes in their specific skill. Mm-hmm. And yes, we have many programs for youth and adults as well.
Okay, so what does that look like? Are you working in the school system? Do you have a brick and mortar facility where these people can come to, or how does that all work?
Yes, well, for programs such as, STEM or science or coding, and music as well, we do contract with school districts, and districts decide what programs they want to bring for a specific season and to which schools, and we provide those programs. That way, we have just completed summer season with the city of Santa Clarita, and we conduct our programs in different community centers through the city of Santa Clarita. And we have a new one starting next month. So a lot of listeners can see our offerings and information in the city magazine. Most homes receive the Seasons magazine. And we have a huge roster of offerings through the city. And we provide programs in groups and privately. Privately, we have, for example, me being pianist and composer, and that's been my background. I have a successful piano studio out of my home, and I have a lot of wonderful students that come in and take piano lessons from me.
Nice.
Yes, and Italian program, we also have Serata Italiana, where people of any age can join in and enjoy not only learning the language and culture, but there is a beautiful dinner served. So they have a full experience of Italian culture. It's called Serata Italiana. We conduct on Wednesdays. And yes, so we have different scenarios for different age groups.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So, okay, and my understanding is you're here to promote your nonprofit organization?
So our main company, like the mother company, is Oksana Management Group that was established in 2010. But during pandemic, I opened another branch to our company, and that is Oksana Foundation, nonprofit 501c3. And it's always been a dream of mine to have, a nonprofit company to help contribute to the community. And through this foundation, we help a lot of underserved youth who normally could not afford the programs. They can take it free of charge or get scholarships. And I'm grateful to all the donors that believe in our mission. And, we're just so thrilled to help so many children explore their talents.
That's awesome. So it's the Oksana Foundation?
OksanaFoundation.org. So you can definitely find it online. It has more in-depth, detailed information.
And is it all of the programs that you offer in the school system, or is it selectively what you do personally with your piano? Like you're a piano teacher, but you're also, you teach other instruments, yes?
Yes, my skill is piano. So my background is I was born in Siberia and raised in Kazakhstan. So I moved to US when I was 15. And music has always been my, I didn't speak any English, it was hard for a teenager,
yes.
change of culture and everything. So music was my outlet.
Yeah.
And I've studied piano since I was 6 years old, and I continued my training here in US. I went to Florida State University. I received my music degree.
Excellent program.
I received my scholarship to study there through the piano competition. And it's been my passion and the core of everything I do. So after graduating from Florida State University, good 12 years, I was a performing, touring artist, concert pianist. So I traveled the world performing my music, classical music, contemporary music, to the different audiences across the world. And then I became a mom in my early 30s. So I had to change my path, and I couldn't travel as much anymore. So I started building my business. And that's when Oksana Management was born, through which initially I was offering music, specifically piano, because that was, my training and my skill. But then I would get referral from the parents of my piano students. They like, the little sibling Johnny, he wants to learn how to play guitar. Do you know anyone? So little by little, grassroots style, I started hiring a team of other individuals who specialize in different instruments. And from my piano studio, we built like a music studio. And we were offering all these different instruments. And then years later, it didn't happen overnight because
No, things like that don't happen immediately. No,
exactly.
You have to do a lot of work.
Yes,
build
yes.
it.
Then we expanded to foreign languages because my husband's strength is languages, and he speaks like 5 or 6 different languages. So we decided to incorporate that aspect, and it was successful. It was, people wanted to learn new languages, new cultures. And little by little, now we evolved into enrichment company where we offer not only music, languages, we also do drama, art, science, STEM, coding, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
You have a busy business.
Very busy,
Oh,
but
my
we
goodness.
love it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, we're driven by passion to what we do. I come from a second generation of educators. So teaching runs in my blood. It's really something I enjoy doing, and I just find great purpose in life doing this.
Well, I give you a lot of credit
Wonderful.
because
That's
teaching is a hard job. I only lasted like 2 years teaching. I couldn't do it. So when somebody wants to participate in your program, let's say, let's just go with the nonprofit for a second. So
Sure.
somebody has some innate talent, but they need classic training. That's
Yes.
what you offer, right? Classical training in music theory and piano and
We do everything.
composition.
Yes. Mhm.
What? I guess the information will be on your website, but can you just walk
Yes.
us through what the process looks like in order to get into your program?
Yes, definitely. They can always submit the form. They can go to Oksana, that's my first name, Oksana, foundation.org. And there is a form on the website. So they can fill out the form, and depends, we have a team and meet and review, depends what their interests are, where they're at the training, we take it to the next step.
Awesome. And
Interesting.
go ahead.
And well, so kind of changing the scenario a bit. How did you and your husband meet?
Oh, wow. We just celebrated our 25-year together.
Congratulations.
Last month was our anniversary. So we met at in Florida 25 years ago. I was going to college, and first, before going to Florida State University, I was going to St. Petersburg College in Florida. And we had a mutual friend that invited me to play piano at his birthday party. So he was a birthday boy.
Wow. isn't
And
that
we hit it
interesting?
off, and yeah.
Very interesting. And you have children of your own?
We have a wonderful 14-year-old boy. He's a student local here at the Hart School District. Mm-hmm. And we're so proud of him because at his early age, not only he mastered the skill of the piano that I gave him, but he also quite an entrepreneur. He wrote 3 books already. He is in the process of doing public speaking at other high schools, and he publishing his own magazine.
Wow.
Wow, that's terrific.
And what grade is he in?
So he's just starting first year of high school.
Nice. Very nice.
Now, does that mean 9th grade or 10th grade? I get confused on where high
Ninth.
school starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9th. 9. Okay.
That's impressive.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is. And is your husband a musician also? Is he in the music business?
No, his background is marketing, PR.
Oh, so
and
you really
languages.
hooked up together then.
Well, actually, in my early performance career as the concert pianist, he was my music manager. He was the one organizing all those concerts. And it's amazing to have, your life partner being also your business partner
Yes.
and wonderful team player.
Oh, that's terrific. Wow, what a life. What a life.
So what do you see for the future for the Oksana Foundation?
Yes, I would love to grow Oksana Foundation. We do post the events and fundraisers on our website. Our goal is to reach more communities, more youth, more children, because it is so important. It's so dear to me, this cause. When I came to this country at 15, I mentioned that I didn't speak any English. My parents, worked 2-3 jobs, and, it was 3 of us children. So I couldn't get the guidance. But music is what helped me to navigate through life early on. And others saw my talent and they gave me opportunities. I won competition. I won scholarship to study at St. Petersburg College. Then I won scholarship to study at Florida State University. And that's because someone noticed my gift and gave me that opportunity.
Yes.
Well, now through Oksana Foundation, I'm reciprocating.
You're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
I see those children, those teens who, if they're given opportunity, they can do so much, developing their talents.
And interestingly, too, even we're on the senior hour, but so many grandparents take care of their grandchildren, and they are able to offer those kinds of opportunities for their grandchildren.
Definitely, definitely.
So it's a circle that comes around and meets.
Yes,
That's
so true.
So we heard about how an applicant might enter into your program. For anyone who would like to donate to your Oksana Foundation, how does that work? Is that on the website too?
Yes, same website, oksanafoundation.org. There is a donate page there, and they can read all the information. It's a tax write-off, and we welcome individuals who want to make a difference and believe in our mission.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how do you okay, so I'm going to limit it to your part of the Oksana Foundation because I know you got a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So how do you work with one of these students that you see potential with? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, they get enrolled in the same process. We assess their skill level, we assess the availability of the instructor. So there's many factors that get calculated. Of course, scheduling is a factor. So once we iron out all of these details, they continue with their development of their skill.
So you have a piano studio that you've expanded to cover more instruments, but again, just focusing on what you do. So if someone is in the foundation program, right, they probably can't afford a piano at home. So how does that work out? How do they practice?
Yes, so there is different, and this brings me back to my teen years when I came to this country. I also didn't have an instrument to practice. And there was a kind gentleman that donated his own piano for me to practice. And that was like, I remember it as it was yesterday, such a life-changing event for me. So through our foundation, we have different arrangements. We do lend keyboards to start off. Occasionally, we get pianos that we give away, as a donation. But like keyboards for the most part covers the early development.
So I hate to interrupt, but I have a quick question. So I know that when someone moves, unless it's a beautiful piece of art, one of the first things to not make that move is going to be the piano. So how would somebody who needs to donate a piano, is that on the website too, or would they just contact you directly?
They can contact us through the website and we make arrangements. Yeah, but speaking of, we had some students that moved out of the area, but this day you can continue. I have a lot of students that I trained virtually online and, gone through pandemic and virtual learning, it definitely polished up the skill and ability to deliver lessons as effectively as they are in person. So we have a lot of online students as well that are outside of this area.
Oksana, thank you so much for joining us today. I love everything you're doing at Oksana Foundation, and I wish you continued success in your business, which is the management group.
Oksana Management Group.
Oksana Management
Thank
Group.
you so
Thank you so
much.
much. You're listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, hometownstation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is the one and only Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. So what's on the topic today?
Well, I thought we'd talk a little bit about shoulder stuff, but we've been talking, the last few months that I've been looking for a new physical therapist, and we finally found one.
Good help. It's hard to find.
Yeah, exactly. So we're super excited. His name's Sam Beltran, and so he's been out of school for almost 2 years now, and coming to us, and so we're teaching him to use the Neubie, and he's jumping right in and being a great fit with our team, and so we're super excited to bring him on board, and he'll allow us to help more people in the community, which is really, really important. I mean, that's the whole purpose of doing this. So super excited to have him, and thought maybe we'd talk about some shoulder stuff. This morning I had a new patient this morning that came in has had shoulder pain for like 30 years, had a rotator cuff repair 30 years ago. And
30 years ago?
30 years ago, yep.
Whoa.
And just said, it's never been the same. And so he wanted to come in. He'd heard about the Neubie and what we were doing, and so I brought him in here. He came in for the evaluation this morning, and we did our normal evaluation stuff, and then we mapped him up with the Neubie on that shoulder, and within 15, 20 minutes, we had about 30 degrees more. So he couldn't lift above his shoulder height, and when he walked out, he could lift another 30 degrees higher. So he was tickled,
Oh, that's
which
wonderful.
for me, I was actually pretty excited too.
Oh,
and I'm
yes.
sure Dr. Polucki can attest to this. When you deal with somebody who's been dealing with a deficit for 30 years, there's structural changes that have occurred. There are things that have gotten tight and that type of stuff. So to make that big of a jump in a matter of about 15 minutes was just saying, kind of what's going on. So that was
It's
pretty cool.
amazing what the body is capable of.
Exactly.
Because everything tells us that a change like that is impossible.
Right.
But lucky for us, a lot of patients don't read the books.
Right, yeah.
They're just there to get better.
Right.
And if you just give them the right nudge in the right direction, stuff that shouldn't happen, and I mean in a good way, often does. And it's so rewarding.
Right.
That's with all the stuff that all doctors have to deal with, that is really what keeps most of us going.
For sure. Well, and for me, it really kind of solidifies how the Neubie works and how it's different than some of the other things, because he'd gone to therapy and it didn't really help him in the past. And the I guess kind of the golden ticket for what the Neubie does is we kind of talk about, like, there's hardware issues, so arthritis, joint restriction, that type of stuff. Those are all kind of like hardware issues. You've broken a bone, that's a hardware issue. But the nervous system, which is how the Neubie works, is the software, the programming. And so, in this case for this gentleman, for 30 years, his brain has been protecting that joint and not letting move after the surgery. And, my fear was that it had become a hardware issue.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if the Neubie was going to help it or not, because, again, if you haven't lifted your arm in 30 years over your shoulder height, things are going to be tight. Joints are going to be, restricted. But, obviously it tapped into his nervous system, and that protective mechanism that was going on, that's been there for 30 years, which is kind of crazy. We were able to override that and get the brain to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can do this motion. And then we got it, which was really, really cool. So that was pretty exciting.
I bet that was. Wow.
Yeah, it's a testament to, first of all, your ability. Second of all, the technology that you have chosen to work with. But more than anything else, it's a testament to the ability of the body to make miraculous things happen.
Adjustments.
Like every day I get blown away by that kind of revelation. Like,
Absolutely.
wait, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You're trying to minimize expectations on those kinds
Right.
of visits.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, one of my questions to the first time patients is, what's the most important thing you need to have happen here today? And invariably it's, I want this problem that I've been dealing with for the past 30 years to
Yeah.
go away. And I'm like, I can almost guarantee that is not going to happen here
Right, yeah,
today. Right.
yeah.
And then stuff like what you just said does
Yeah,
happen, and
yeah.
it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's why we do this. That's
Yeah.
why we want to help people, and it's tough sometimes when somebody, that's why I always say, like, I wish that our field, both of our fields, that we were almost like dentists, where they come in every 6 months or every year annually
Yeah.
just for a checkup, because we could be proactive and prevent some of these things from becoming a problem. Because a lot of times, if you've had something that goes on that long and the mechanics are off, you've possibly worn down some of the joint cartilage and, surfaces there. Now we've got arthritic changes. Now we've turned a, problem into a piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But there is a reason our health system is the way it is. And I don't subscribe to an evil empire. I just subscribe to human nature.
yeah.
The drug companies have dialed it in. They own human nature like no other business in the world has their fingertip on the pulse of how people behave, how they act, what triggers them, what makes them tick. And there's a reason for that our health system is so expensive and so ineffective.
Yeah.
And it's not the drug company's fault. It's not the medical college's fault. It's that outside of our group, our functional group,
Yeah.
whatever you want to include that to be,
Yeah.
very few people are even talking about prevention. And the reason being that it's a hard sell. People don't want to know
Yeah.
that a little bit of prevention can avoid a lot of problems down the line, because they're like, well, I'm good now.
Right.
I'm good until they're not.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I talk to patients about that all the time, because the body's great at compensating, but the problem is those compensations can lead to long-term problems.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're good, well, you're changing the way you walk. I mean, if you just watch 10 people walk down the street, as a therapist or a chiropractic, functional medicine, you can literally spot some of the deficits that are going on, and if they don't get that fixed, they're going to start having those problems. When I go to the gym, the joke is, I should just hand out cards, because it's like, okay, that person's, running that way. Oh, that person's lifting there. They're gonna need me here shortly. So
Yeah, all you have to do is stand in front of the treadmills and see the heads bob. Boing, boing, boing. I'm like, okay, that's going to be a problem.
yeah, exactly. So it's the body is good at compensating until it's not,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. We want to try and prevent and be proactive so that you're not compensating.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you figure out the messaging to make that happen, I'll pay you to let me know the
it's
secret.
going to take two of you to do it. One person usually doesn't do it. It takes more than one.
Okay,
mind.
so Aesop was
right.
talking about this thousands of years ago, and it hasn't changed yet.
Right.
I don't know that human nature is up for a big reboot anytime soon.
Yeah.
So what else? What else is going on? Congratulations on your new hire.
Thank you very much.
It's,
Yeah, super excited about that.
it
Super
is-
excited about that.
It's an interesting situation out there with, besides the economy, the job marketplace
For sure.
is challenging.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
has he started?
He started.
already?
Yeah, he's in his third week. Yeah, we're
Third week.
3 week in. So yeah. So
So did I meet him when I was there the other day?
you probably saw him. Yeah, he was probably sitting over to your left when you were sitting on the table with me.
I saw somebody sitting
The
over
only
there.
he might have been in maybe a new patient evaluation, so maybe he was in a room if he
No,
wasn't
it
there.
seems like he was.
Oh yeah, no, that was
on
him.
the
That was Sam.
machine.
Yeah, he was doing some of the because we have virtual training for the Neubie, so he was watching videos on how to do
Oh,
the Neubie.
that's what it was.
That's
then.
what it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep,
I
for
don't
sure.
remember what he looks like, but I know that there was somebody else there
Yeah.
that wasn't there before.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have him come on board. I think he's going to be a great fit. He's definitely has our vision and you know what we're trying to carry out at Focus, and you know, so he's super excited about learning the Neubie and the new technology and being able to apply it. It's funny, he's already had several of his own kind of, we call them aha moments, where like he, you know, worked with a person and like, oh my gosh, like, hey, that worked. You know,
Whoa.
so that makes kind of fun. So yeah, so we're just having a lot of fun with getting him trained up and getting everything going. Actually, I should actually have mentioned too, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary of being open, so that was a pretty big milestone for a business, which is
Yeah,
super
nice
exciting.
timing on that.
I know, right? Yeah.
5 years.
So
Good
yeah,
heavens.
5 years. So that was pretty crazy because
Yeah, let's open during a lockdown.
yeah. So literally, I opened, and 6 months later was COVID. You know, so that was and the first initial part of that was they were going to close everything.
Yeah,
down.
but nobody knew
Yeah,
what to
so
expect.
One of the kind of blessing is that because I think when it first started, you could only have like 6 people in an office.
Yeah.
So luckily at that time it was only me and my front desk worker, so I could have 2 patients in the clinic and be in compliance. So we didn't end up
Right.
having to close down. Where I know I talked to one of my competitors down the street, and they closed for I think 2 weeks, and then opened up only part days for like the next month or something like that. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
it's still a challenge.
For
I
sure.
don't think the country or the world has recovered from COVID yet. You know, we still get calls at least once a week. Oh, I got COVID. I got to cancel.
yeah.
You know, it's still out there.
Yeah. We had been pretty good with not having any of that, and then I had one patient last week that had gotten it the
It's-
week before.
it's on the
That's
uptick.
I kind of heard
Yeah.
that, but I heard like kind of Florida based, but
No, it's here.
it's here
Trust
too,
me. Trust me. I have experience.
Yeah.
So
I just hope we don't have to go back to wearing masks.
I know, right?
Oh, those things are horrible.
Yeah.
To me, they are.
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
well, the
'Cause
good
I'm a
news is
breathe-
it seems like on this round, for whatever reason you believe in, because I'm not getting into that conversation, it seems a lot less dangerous now.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I got COVID. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a headache, you
Yeah.
know? So,
There's definitely lots.
but still, I mean, as healthcare professionals, we're like, yeah, you got to stay away until you're clear of that.
for sure, absolutely.
You know, you don't want to be Typhoid Mary.
You don't want to be who?
Typhoid Mary, you might have heard of her. No.
Who's Typhoid Mary?
Okay.
Oh, well, we won't go into that either, huh?
An asymptomatic carrier that gave most of the world typhoid back in whatever, the 1800s. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. She's no longer around.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
You don't have to worry, Barb. Just don't go downtown because typhoid's on the uptick too.
Right. Oh gosh.
What do you mean by downtown? Not this downtown.
No, not this downtown.
No.
Downtown LA.
Downtown
Yeah.
LA. No, I
But
wouldn't go there
apparently
anyway.
they're cleaning up the streets, so we'll see how that all goes. Just in time for elections.
Yeah.
But I don't have
And
a
that all
political
comes into
opinion.
play, doesn't it? You cannot get away from politics, no matter how hard you try.
That is
Aye,
very
aye,
true.
aye. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so
So
back.
shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders. So impressive results, uncommon results, and I will say that that kind of stuff happens, but you never want to project that, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Look, because you don't know.
Yeah,
Nobody
absolutely.
does. We're just here to make the best of it, and depending on the technology, it can happen.
Absolutely. yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'm super excited to get him in for a second visit and see where we go from there and see what kind of improvements we can continue to get, because it definitely sounds like it's something that's neurologically based that we can definitely treat, which is
It
really
often
cool.
is.
Yeah.
It often is, because you can't. Yeah. like I said, the good news is the patients don't read the research.
Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
that can't happen.
Right. Yep.
So
No, I'm going to this doctor, or I'm going to this chiropractor, or this physical therapist, and he or she will take care of me.
Yep.
That's the way to look at it.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and that is the
Help
most
solve the
important thing.
problem.
Take care of you, because there are no guaranteed outcomes, but you'll know almost instantly whether you're being taken care of or not. And it's not how smooth or charismatic the person is. It's
That's right.
not even the amount of time they spend with you, but the quality of time that they spend with you. If they're mostly in their device, taking notes and give you, 2 to 3 minute of conversation and they're out the door, I don't know how that's supposed to get anybody better.
Yeah.
Or just, putting you on some unattended modality.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
And a tear-off sheet of exercises, expecting that to change a real problem. We deal with it in the same world.
For sure. Yeah. You definitely got to dig down and get into what's going on. I think, especially too, kind of just giving some tips. I mean, posture is so important in shoulder stuff. People, especially in this day and age with phones and stuff, where rounded shoulders, forward head, but that changes your alignment of where your shoulder joint's at.
Do you know what really frustrates me more than anything, since I have had experience with walking with a walker?
Mm-hmm.
When I see these older people, men and women, using the walker and they're down like this.
Yeah.
And I've stopped several people on the streets. Lift up the handlebars so you can stand up straight.
Yep.
Because they're like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And before long, they can't straighten up.
Well, when we get back from the break, Adam and I are going to get into it about that. You're listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS FM 98.1 AM 1220, hometownstation.com.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Thomas Polucki, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy. And we're talking about shoulders.
We were talking about shoulders and we were talking about posture.
Posture.
We're about ready to have a debate
Which,
on posture.
which includes the shoulders.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, for me in physical therapy, we talk a lot about, you have to be in that upright posture because gravity is pushing down on us all hours of the day. And so, with just what we run into now with that forward head posture, your shoulders come rounded. Well, that changes the alignment of your rotator cuff, changes the alignment of what's called the glenohumeral head in your shoulder joint. And, that makes the muscles not work correctly. And so, we have to, and sometimes there is changes where things have tightened in the front and they're weak in the back. And so we have to correct those incorrect movement patterns. And that's where the Neubie can definitely help. We were talking during the break, but like it's much harder than just say straighten up, because
yes.
You could tell somebody to straighten up and 2, 3, 4 minutes later they're going to be back in that regular posture, or they're going to start feeling those muscles burn because they're working like they haven't been working. And so it has to be kind of a structural change that happens over time where you got to work at it and you got to do
and
stuff.
like we were talking about, some elderly men and women use walkers. Mm-hmm. And they don't have the handlebars up.
Right.
Or somebody has sold them the wrong walker and they're hunched over.
Right.
And once you start doing that for any length of time, you're not going to be able to stand up straight.
Absolutely.
And hold your shoulders back.
Absolutely, because gravity is going to be pulling you down.
Absolutely.
Versus if you're standing up straight, sitting, then gravity's loading your spine the way it's supposed to, and you're
That's
not really having to
correct.
work.
Yeah.
But the minute get shifted forward, now your line of gravity gets off of your base, and problems start to occur.
Yeah, my dad always used to bang me in between the shoulders. Stand up, Babs. Stand up straight. Put those shoulders back.
Yep. Yep.
He was always one for standing up straight. Always.
For sure.
And it certainly taught me a lesson.
Yep. Absolutely. So there's definitely different exercises and stuff that we can do, obviously coming in for an evaluation in physical therapy and having us taking a look so we can figure out what those deficits are. But doing different exercises, and for our population that may not want to go to the gym, we can do stuff with bands at home and wrapping it in a doorway and doing rows and stuff like that. But you can do the right exercise, but if you don't do it correctly, you're going to almost perpetuate the problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have with the viral gurus out there.
The what gurus?
The viral the Dr. YouTube. So I don't. Everybody has adequate training, and some people have cult followings, and some people really have great information. The problem is when you're downloading information offline, that person doesn't know anything about you, doesn't know about your situation, your particular physiology, your particular anatomy, what the real problem, the underlying causes of the problem may or may not be. So it's going to miss the mark nearly all the time. Nearly all the time. And almost everybody now uses the internet as their first treatment plan. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'll even come in and they'll be like, "Oh, I found these exercises on the internet and I did them, but they didn't help."
Yeah.
Well, that's probably because maybe it's the right exercise to do, but it's
The wrong
not
way to do it.
the wrong way to do it, or maybe it was the wrong exercise applied for a different problem. So
Right.
that's where to the expertise of the professional to come in, have them take a look at you, put you through things, and we can assess how you're responding, to the treatment, to the exercise. I can give you another example. This morning I had another new patient, and they had pain when what's called a tabletop position, or we call the dead bug position. So they were laying on their back, they had their hips up in the air, and their hip wanted to seize up like Charlie horse. And so when they were working with their trainer, that's what the problem was. And so we again used the Neubie, and I mapped their leg, and we found where the problem was. And then I put them in that position that reproduced the symptom 2 minutes before that, and the symptom was gone. So then we went through some exercises and then took the Neubie off and had her retry that position again. And she could feel it, she said maybe 20%, but it was 80% better from when we had done it just, 15 minutes before that. So that's a perfect example of we had to do something specific for her and resolve that issue, getting into the
Right.
nervous system.
Right.
And all of a sudden we made a change. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Amazing.
yeah, for sure.
It is. Well, I have a situation I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
On this show.
Okay. We're almost there, Barb, but don't rush things. We still have a minute or two. So, Adam, give us your contact information, please.
All right, so we are located at 25050 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205, and our phone number is 661-255-4205, and our website is www.focusptscv.com.
Awesome. So, yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
Even though we have maybe a couple different instruments in our tool bag, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I think for sure we have that kind of same mindset, but like you said, different tools in the tool bag, and that's great because
That's
everybody's
right.
different, and
That's
sometimes you need a
exactly
combination of all those tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
you do.
So that's what I like working together with people like that.
Yes.
Thank you. And thanks for stopping by today. You've been listening to the Senior Hour, KHTS, FM 98.1, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, brought to you by Providence Holy Cross and Comfort Keepers. Comfort Keepers?
In home care.
In home care. There you go. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.